Upon hearing the news that his beloved Fiona had passed away, my husband, who was on a honeymoon with me, dramatically leapt off the cruise ship, ending his life. It was only then I realized he had never truly moved on from Fiona. Transported back to my teenage years, he decisively let go of my hand and walked towards his cherished Fiona. I watched them leave and turned away. From that moment on, our lives became parallel lines destined never to meet. A decade later, we crossed paths again at a high-profile event in Ocean City. He had become a rising star among the elite, with Fiona affectionately on his arm. When he saw me mistakenly enter the event, he couldn't help but advise me, "Stop holding on to the past. Even if you wait for me for another 10 years, I still won't love you." I ignored him and retrieved my cake-eating son from the corner. His eyes suddenly reddened, and he grabbed my hand tightly. "Are you trying to provoke me on purpose? Didn't you once say you'd love me for a lifetime?" I never imagined I would encounter Gideon again in this lifetime. At the elite gathering in Ocean City, he stood among the crowd with Fiona, exuding charm and sophistication, showing no trace of his former youthful awkwardness. People around him were all smiles, speaking in flattering tones. "Young Master Gideon is truly promising, securing a major project at such a young age. Is this your beloved? You both make such a striking couple." Fiona gazed at Gideon with deep affection and said softly, "We're planning to get married by the end of the year. If you have the time, we'd love for you to join us." There was another round of congratulations, and someone asked, "I heard you've been together for 10 years. Why wait until now to get married?" This was something I was curious about too. In the previous life, Gideon loved Fiona so much he was willing to die for her. After being given a second chance, he immediately broke up with me. I assumed they would marry right after graduation, but they haven't even registered yet. Upon hearing this, Gideon's face momentarily stiffened, but he quickly masked it with a smile. "You need a career before family. I want to give Fiona the best life possible." He looked at Fiona, his eyes filled with tenderness nearly overflowing. In the past, when we were together, I asked him many times when we could get married. It wasn't until his family pressured him that Gideon reluctantly agreed to be with me. It turns out, the difference between love and lack of it can be so obvious. I was about to turn and leave when I noticed a small figure and instinctively followed. Oops! Champagne spilled everywhere, and the waiter holding a tray looked at me with discontent. "Where did you come from? Are you blind?" His voice was loud, drawing attention from those around us. Seeing my face, Gideon was stunned. "Adeline, why are you here?" I lowered my head to apologize to the waiter and explained, "I'm here looking for someone." Someone curiously asked Gideon, "Do you know her, young Master Gideon?" Gideon tightened his grip on his wine glass, his gaze darkening. "Yeah, just an ex-girlfriend." Someone nearby blurted out, "You've been together for 10 years. I thought you were each other's first love." The smile on Fiona's face faded slightly as she held Gideon's hand and said nonchalantly, "We were young back then, separated for a bit during a fight. Who hasn't taken a wrong turn in their youth?" Gideon said nothing, his gaze brushing past me to the waiter. "Charge the damage to my account and let her go." He stood there, expression calm, not sparing me an extra glance aside from the initial encounter. It seemed he was eager to draw a clear line between us in front of Fiona. The waiter quickly ushered me out. "Young Master Gideon is being kind, cleaning up your mess, but there won't be a next time." He glanced disdainfully at my wrinkled pajamas. "This isn't a place for you. Hurry up and leave." I broke free from his grip and explained politely, "I'm here to find someone. Once I do, I'll leave on my own." The waiter sneered, rolling his eyes. "I've seen plenty like you trying to climb up. Do you even have the qualifications to be here? If you keep lingering, I'll call security." "Wait." Gideon's voice came from behind him. He sighed as he looked at me, helplessly. "She's here to find me. Let me talk to her." Fiona, standing beside him, asserted her dominance by wrapping her arms around his shoulder. "Adeline, Gideon and I are about to get married. Anyone with a bit of self-respect wouldn't come looking for an ex at this point." Gideon's face darkened slightly, and he couldn't help but advise me, "Stop holding on to the past. Even if you wait for me for another 10 years, I won't love you. When I was with you, it was a mistake. Now that I have the chance to correct it, I hope you can let go of the past soon." Fiona looked me up and down, a mocking glint in her eyes. "I understand why you would seek out Gideon. After all, he's a renowned entrepreneur now, and there's no shortage of people trying to cozy up to him." Perhaps my wrinkled pajamas gave her confidence. Fiona added arrogantly, "You're a prestigious university graduate, yet you've ended up like this? If I were you, I wouldn't even show my face." Gideon frowned, pulling out his phone, his tone growing impatient. "If you feel like you were wronged by our breakup, I can compensate you now. Is 500,000 enough?" His fingers moved over the screen, then suddenly froze. "You deleted me from your contacts?" I was puzzled, not understanding why he reacted so strongly. Isn't it normal to delete an ex's contact after a breakup? Besides, I have someone at home who's particularly jealous. If he knew I still had my ex's contact, he'd probably make a fuss. "Didn't you say you hoped I wouldn't come looking for you after our breakup?" Gideon's face turned cold, as if he wanted to say something but held back. I spoke calmly, adding, "I don't need the breakup compensation." After facing setback after setback, Gideon's face darkened further, and he spoke coldly. "What are you pretending for? If it weren't for your current misfortune, I wouldn't even bother talking to you." Fiona quickly soothed him with a gentle voice. "Well, she is a prestigious university graduate. Given her current miserable state, let's just consider helping her." "Oh Fiona, you're still so kind. Why bother with a woman like her? Look at her pathetic state, just get lost." His tone was disdainful, as if forgetting that 10 years ago, he was in a worse state than I was. In the previous life, Gideon's family didn't agree with their son being with Fiona because she was a dubious woman who liked shortcuts. The first time I saw Gideon in college, he had just picked Fiona up from a club, forced by his family to break up. During Gideon's most depressed times, I stayed by his side, helping him through. He loved photography, so I used the money I planned to start a business to buy him expensive equipment. Through freezing winters and scorching summers, I, with my frail frame, carried dozens of pounds of gear following him, just hoping to see him smile sincerely. Who would have thought it was Gideon who confessed to me first? I knew about his past with Fiona and had seen him occasionally stare at their photos in a daze. So when Gideon confessed, I seriously asked him, "Have you truly moved on from Fiona?" At that time, he held me tightly, his tone firm. "Actually, I never loved her. I just saw her as a good friend." "It's you I love, Adeline. let's be together. We dated for 7 years, even his friends were surprised. He liked Fiona so much, I thought you two wouldn't last. But no one knew. Gideon repeatedly refused to answer my prompts about marriage. Adeline, I'm against marriage. Can't we just be like this forever? Until later, when Gideon's parents pressured him about marriage, he agreed to marry. During our honeymoon, after hearing about Fiona's car accident, he jumped off the cruise ship, leaving only a note. The note was filled with love for Fiona, not a single word for me. At the end, he wrote in blood, Fiona, you're the only one I want to love in this life. Now, I'm coming for you. My love for him turned to ashes at that moment. So, after being given a second chance, when Gideon wanted to break up, I didn't stop him. Because I knew, I couldn't stop it. Watching them get back together, I deleted all of Gideon's contact information, thinking there'd be no chance to meet again in this life. But I didn't expect to encounter them here. I wanted to leave, but Fiona wouldn't let it go, insisting on humiliating me in front of everyone. Do you even deserve to speak to me? Look at how you're dressed. It's embarrassing. Here's the deal. I'll introduce you to work as a waiter here. If you learn to serve people, you can earn a 5-figure salary a month. Someone trying to curry favor with her added with a grin. This is a hotel in the prime location of Ocean City. Working here is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you. You should thank Miss Fiona. Surrounded by people, I couldn't leave, so I replied helplessly. Thank you, but I already have a job. As a photographer. I wanted to leave, but Fiona was relentless, determined to humiliate me in front of everyone. Do you think you're even worthy of talking to me? Look at what you're wearing. It's such an embarrassment. Here's an idea. I can get you a job here as a waiter. If you learn to serve people, you could earn a 5-figure salary. Someone nearby, eager to curry favor with her, chimed in with a smile. This hotel is in a prime Ocean City location. Working here is a rare opportunity for you. You should thank Miss Fiona. Surrounded and unable to move, I reluctantly replied, thank you, but I already have a job. Photography. As soon as I mentioned photography, Gideon glanced at me with a complex expression, his lips twitching slightly. He averted his gaze, his tone indifferent. How much can you really earn from photography? Hobbies don't pay the bills. Since we're all acquaintances, I can set you up with a job. I was taken aback, then realized he misunderstood me. My love for photography wasn't because I still harbored feelings for Gideon. In fact, when I saw that suicide note in my previous life, I had already given up completely. When I returned to life, I found all my money had been spent on photography equipment. I couldn't sell it secondhand, so I had no choice but to use it myself. Eventually, I genuinely fell in love with photography. This time around, it's not about pleasing others, it's for myself. I politely declined Gideon again, my tone courteous yet distant. My hobby is enough to cover my expenses, but thanks for your concern. Seeing my ingratitude, a flash of anger crossed Gideon's face. If you don't seize the opportunity I'm offering, don't come crying to me later. I stayed silent, not telling him that now, my photography work is featured in several national publications and top international magazines. The various licensing fees add up to no less than Gideon's income. But even if I said it, he'd probably dismiss it as boasting. After all, in my crumpled pajamas, I did look quite shabby. It's my son's fault. He insisted I play with him in the sandbox. When I turned around, he had slipped downstairs again. I hadn't had time to change clothes before chasing after him. Just as I was thinking of an excuse to leave, the waiter seemed to have noticed something. He pointed at my clothes and said, Balenciaga? Where did you find that outfit? Are you a cleaner here, stealing from guests' rooms? I couldn't help but frown. Why can't these clothes be mine? Fiona sneered, mocking, yours? Can you afford them? What wealthy person would run around dressed so casually like you? She pretended to cover her nose. So dirty, you probably wore it without washing. Gideon looked at me, his eyebrows furrowed tightly. Adeline, have you really fallen to this state and still refuse to admit it? I didn't want to engage with them, so I directly addressed the waiter. If you really think I stole something, feel free to call the police now. I knew he was trying to please Fiona by stepping on me. Sure enough, his bravado dwindled immediately as he mumbled, if it weren't for the big shots at the hotel today, I'd have called the police on you already. Fiona's eyes lit up, quickly picking up on it. Is it Mr. Lowe? I heard he's here in Ocean City with his family, staying at this hotel. Gideon nodded, a look of anticipation in his eyes. The project our company is working on would benefit greatly from the Lowe family's support. The mention of Mr. Lowe sparked a flurry of discussion, as if a match had been struck in dry tinder. We're at this banquet today, hoping to meet Mr. Lowe, aren't we? This entire building is owned by his family. I heard he got married and had a child in his early 20s, but who did he marry? As the crowd was discussing, the lobby manager rushed in, sweating profusely, followed by a group of people. Everyone, has anyone seen a 7-year-old boy around here, about this tall? The manager, wiping his sweat, searched the hall anxiously. Someone quick on the uptake guessed immediately, seeing the big commotion. Is it the Lowe family's young master? I heard he's 7 this year. The banquet guests got enthusiastic, searching everywhere. After all, finding him could be a chance to connect with the Lowe family. Gideon and Fiona joined the search, leaving me alone. I watched the chaotic hall and headed straight to the dessert area. Sure enough, I found my son there, his face covered in cream. With a stern face, I extended my hand. Come here.